Afternoon guys, James here from Sunseeker Southampton. I'm down at our home base in Swanwick Marina this afternoon, where we're taking out a new to market Sunseeker Manhattan 65. So we're just taking this boat in part exchange against the new build Sunseeker, always been based here in the UK on the south coast. She's an absolutely immaculate example, and say going up on the market at £1,389,000 UK tax paid. She's behind me here. Currently named Altea, but the owners are keeping the name for the new boat, so we'll be renaming her in the coming weeks. 2014 build, 2015 model, powered by a pair of the V8 MAN 1000 horsepower diesel engines. We've got bow and stern thrusters, 19 kilowatt Onan generator, Sleipner Vector fin stabilization, and a massive spec. Really nice spec boat here, both for the UK and the Mediterranean. We've got air conditioning, got hydraulic bathing platform on the back, big AV, big nav kit, very little to add to make her usable throughout most of the major boating territories. Presenting here very nicely, having only been back in the water a few days. We've just had the boat surveyed and checked out. Of course, as part of the Sunseeker dealer approved scheme, we will carry out any servicing and retrofit items that you might need. She's just been polished, so gel coat looking sparkly white here in the sunshine. Carpets have been cleaned, teak's been cleaned, so we're just in the final throes of preparing her, hopefully for lucky soon to be new owner. She will remain in the water here at Swanwick now until sold. Viewings of course open 7 days a week now, with new restrictions easing on non-essential retail. So today we're just going to run her out, give you an experience of what she's like out at open sea. We can take some nice running shots with the drone and show you how easy she is to dock back in the port here afterwards. I will do a walk around of the boat with a little bit more detail as we go, so we'll check back in a bit just as we go out off the dock. So we're just up here at the lower helm. We go through the startup procedures. We often get asked how this works. So we've turned the battery switches on in the aft cockpit already. Now we just turn our ignitions on there. We're going to start up here from the lower helm, so just a couple of taps on the... We've got blue lights on the throttles here to show we're station active. A couple of man bonning displays here, just gone through a pre-start sequence. You can see gearboxes are showing in neutral. So it should now, we push the button here, fire them into life. So there you have it, that's the two engines starting up. So we've got our digital readouts here. We can go through and see whatever selected data we want to monitor. So you can see engine hours reading here 340 a piece, both on the port and starboard. These are our proportional thruster controls. We just can double tap on those. They're proportional, meaning that the more we push them over, the more power it gives us here. We just do a quick blip on those to check we've got power. We're going to head upstairs now and just take over from the upstairs helm, where we will leave the dock from. So just dropping our lines off here. You see the flags up there. The wind's going to be round behind us. Just going to drop the stern line off here. We've got a little bit of tide, a little bit of movement on the water surface here. Tide coming in. So literally just going to use a little bit of thruster here, take us off the mooring. See, we're quite tight in here. We do everything nice and slow. Across here, we can just check how much room we've got. Nice thing with these fly-by-wire throttles, they're very easy to knock in and out of gear with one finger. So just using a little bit of thruster here. We just have to watch the back corner of the platform there as we come round. Looks tight here, but it's all a confidence thing. So as soon as you're comfortable moving large yachts like this, very straightforward to do. We start to bring that nose around now. You can see down the stairs there, we can see the aft corner of the platform. And we can now engage. Engines there just to rotate. Plenty of power in those thrusters when you need it. And we're now onto our engines and we're away. So we're just going to stow the boat ready for a run out here, and we'll check back in when we're down the river. We'll get the drone up, we'll give you a little bit more of a feel of what the boat's like up and running. So we've got about a 25-minute run at slow speed, gives the boat a chance to warm everything up before we get out to open sea. So I'll just give you a little talk through a little bit more about the boat. So say 2 owners from new, supplied in late 2014, 2015 model here onto the south coast, originally kept in Lymington, and then sold onwards to the current owners who've had her in Port Solent, again here on the south coast. 65 is a 4-cabin, 3-bathroom layout, also with the optional crew cabin in the stern. So we've got 2 single beds and a heads compartment in the back there as well. Platform lifts something like a Williams 325 or at a squeeze a 395, so plenty of capacity. Owners have kept the tender off the back for their new boat, so no tender is included, and we can obviously sort you out with something if needed. The boat itself is presenting very nicely. So this era of Sunseeker, very, very high spec. This is I say built as a showpiece, if you like, when she was new. So highest spec AV and nav, what have you. So we just spin round here. You can see in front of me, we've got 2 12-inch Simrad screens. Again, the same mirror image bonding MAN displays as what we saw downstairs. It's all falling nicely to hand, so it's right in front of me here. These will display anything you want, multitude of different things. They're hybrid touch, so they're both touch screen on here itself and also on the buttons on the side. It's quite handy if it's a wet day and the touch isn't working so well. And then down here we've got things like the autopilot control, remote control spotlight, then start and stops for the engines, obviously the main keys downstairs, and then controls for pumps and anchor and what have you. Everything's nice and local. So we've got our thruster controls down here, proportional hydraulic trim tab system here, and the tilt steering wheel as well. So there's a little button underneath and we can lift this up, drive it a bit more like a bus, or drop it back down and it's a bit more like a car. Get a comfy place. You can see the seats here next to me, so they either in a seat position or a bit more of a bolster, so you can kind of stand up, rest your bum against that. If you want a bit more visibility over the top of the screen, gives you a bit more working space on the floor here as well if you're in and out of the helm. We're finished in a Silvertex fabric up here, which is like a tan colour. All presents nicely. You've got that sort of cross stitch in the seat bases there, just for a little bit more detail. Lovely sun pad there up, protected behind that big windscreen, so nice place out of the weather. If you're cruising distance, you can put some pillows up against that screen and face aft if you wish. And then we've got a cracking social seating area at the aft end there, so nice place to come private dining upstairs away from what's going on the quayside. And up above us you see that huge stainless steel framework which houses the Flybridge Bimini. So if you want some protection whilst you're up here, that gives full height standing room all the way forward, and it will cover over the helm where I'm currently sat. I say my visibility here, if I just look round over the side here, see all the way down the boat from the stern all the way up to the bow. You see Dan's just stowing all the fenders away, so we've got plenty of room in the anchor locker up forward there to stow the fenders. And there's a little handrail on the underside of the lid actually, which is handy just to tie off the lines, and then you don't have to fish them out, climb in there upside down when it's time to set the boat up ready for docking again. Storage wise, so underneath the seats here you've got lots of storage bins. We'll have a look at those in a bit. We've got a full wet bar here behind us with a barbecue, sink and what have you. Again, fully equipped galley downstairs. Nice protected helm here, so sat at the helm even on a day here where it's probably blowing about 12 to 15 knots of breeze. Quite comfortable, not getting buffeted too badly in the wind. You're a long way up from the water surface, so very little in the way of spray is ever likely to get up to you here. I say 2 people very happy running this boat, one doing the lines and one at the helm, whether that's driving from here upstairs. Down at the lower helm you've got a side door access out onto the deck as well, handy if you're in the med and you're coming in alongside other boats. And then you've got the option, if you wished, you could add actually a retrofit of a full remote control system, which would give you your throttle and thruster controls for the boat on something that's about the size of a mobile phone. The boat doesn't have that. It's an easy retrofit, lots of different systems out there if you wanted to make your life even easier. We do have owners that take boats this size out on their own, and similarly we have boats like this that are full-time crewed. So really it's at that size where an owner can make their own choices as to how involved they want to be with the actual managing and driving the boat themselves. So just going to stow the last few bits, let everything come up to temperature, and then we'll get up and going once we get to the bottom of the river, and we'll see what she can do. So we're at the bottom of the handle now, and we're just going to open up the throttles, get her up on the plane and see what she's like. So you can see here our speed over ground currently is 6 knots. Engines are ticking over nicely at just over 600 RPM. You see making very little wash behind, everything's very quiet. They're big single turbo engines, so they take a little bit of time to boost up. And rather than just burying the throttles, we're just going to ease her forward, let her rise up nicely onto the plane. As is fairly normal, the alarm comes on when the bow tilts to the sky, as any water in the bilge will run aft. It's just letting us know pumps are running momentarily. You see we're up, speed still climbing, we're just up to 16. We're just going to take her up to about 19 knots, where she's a nice cruise speed. Just hearing the turbo start to whistle now.
Let's have a look at that, those temperatures. That's on that.
So we are sitting 20 knots, just under 2000 RPM. I would say this is a very comfortable cruise speed here, so boat's not banging around. We got the stabilizers locked off today, as it's a very calm day and we don't need them. You see the wake shot behind us there. The boat's got a range of about 300 nautical miles at this speed. Just going to give a wide berth to the yachts here. You can see the boat has AIS, which is the automatic identification system here for yachts and motorboats. It's not compulsory, but it's a nice system which a lot of boats run these days, and it just gives a little target tracking of boats around us. Very common on yachts, so we can maintain where everything is. We've also got things like the down scan, radar and what have you, so we'll just fire up. We've got a 62 nautical mile open array scanner up there, so we just stick that into transmit and you'll see that start to wear into life. Currently on 1/8 of a mile, so we're just going to zoom that out. You can now see, in relation to where we are, you can see we've got the overlaid yachts on top of our AIS targets. There'll be a lot more cartography information in the plotters here if you have the chart card in there. Owners are taking the chart card for the new boat. They're about £350 for a new card. Gives you all the up-to-date cartography for the local areas. We're running channel 12, which is VTS local traffic today, just monitoring what the ships are doing. And there's 2 channels, so we have the Bramble Sandbank in the middle here, and off down Western Channel, and we're actually going to go down the eastern channel here this afternoon, just out of everybody's way, so we can get the drone up and take some nice running shots. So we're just going to drop the boat back off the plane, get set up with the drone, and we'll check back in a bit when we're up in the air. So here we see the boat now up and running with the drone. From a number of different angles you can see she's absolutely wonderful looking. With some boats it's clear from certain angles, they don't really do it justice. I have to say this one is absolutely cracking from all angles. You can see running around 16 knots here. Perhaps a little bit too slow as a cruise speed, but perfect to keep up with the drone. Typical cruising speed on this model around 20 knots, burning between 260 280 litres an hour combined for the two engines, so giving a range of around 300 nautical miles. Not many yachts at this size have a stabilization system. This particular yacht fitted from the factory with the Sleipner Vector fin, which is a curved fin system, giving stability both underway and also at anchor. This is around a £70,000 extra when the boat was new, making it a very considered purchase when owners speccing the boat initially, but a very useful feature to take full advantage of the boat whether using in typical UK waters or down in the Mediterranean. What a perfect day. Look at that beautiful solar weather around us. Advantage of a tax-paid boat like this here, it's obviously complete freedom of movement here on the south coast, or for UK owners that might want to venture overseas in the future. And we're just going to have a walk through. So whilst we're stationary here, engines are just back in tick over, and it's quite nice just to take the boat in. Don't need to drop the anchor, what have you. So aft cockpit here, we've got a vast opening table here. So these are leaves that we can fold back into the middle here. Little pegs slide away under the table, and that gives a nice sort of dining space. There's room here to put some director's chairs around the table, so you get a good sort of 8 people around that, I would say. And there's a full set of aft cockpit canopies that run in a track around the top here, around the back of the cockpit, and that then gives this the ability to be enclosed, and still with the advantage with the doors open here, we can have the aircon reverse cycle to give you the heating in the winter, and this then becomes a usable space all year round. You'll notice there's no threshold on the door there, so this is a deck drain in the floor. Acres of teak everywhere, so we've got teak here, absolutely immaculate. We've just treated it, but always been maintained well by the previous owners. Really sets the boat off. Doesn't have the worry of the teak up the side decks there, so less maintenance to look after. We'll just head up and take a look on the foredeck before we have a look inside. So we've got these big deep bulwarks here, low level LED lights on the deck here, so it looks very pretty lit up at night. Smoke film on the windows here just protects the wood inside from UV degradation. There's normally window covers also living on the outside of the windows here. This is a Hexis carbon wrap on the mullions up top here. You'll notice on the drone shots just how it lowers the profile of the boat down, so that's over the whole forward coach roof here. Nice big wide decks, very easy to walk down forwards, don't have to shimmy your way through. As you come up, imagine yourself carrying drinks and what have you. So we've got some lockers in the top here for ropes. Up forward, upgrades to 90 metres galvanised anchor chain, big delta anchor there. So loads of room in here to store the fenders away. We've got a plug in for a deck wash, freshwater deck wash, anchor controls here. On the front, feels very solid here, big stainless steel pulpit rails, optional bow sunbathing cushions here. So we've got the stabilisers turned off at the moment, but the boat's still very solid. We weigh about 35 tonnes this size. You can see how wide these decks are if I just hold the camera down. It's a vast, very, very safe feeling. Nice little sort of scutcheons here, detailing, and they run back to the engine vents at the back as well. It's a very pretty boat. 65, true classic. Came on 63 Manhattan before this, then replaced later by the 66 Manhattan. So heading inside, tried to keep as much as we can on one level. So we've got the galley up here on main deck with a dinette, and then we've got 3 cabins downstairs. So just stand back here, the doors obviously stack back, 3 panels over here on the port side, gives you this lovely big open access through into the saloon. And it's a very rich interior, this, so very classic Sunseeker black American walnut gloss woodwork, and it is fantastic. So having not been out in the Mediterranean, very little in the way of UV degradation, really got this lovely shine to it. Nightmare if you've got kids with sticky fingers, but nothing that a duster and a can of Mr. Sheen can't sort out. Alcantara type headlining panels here, lots of detailed LED lighting, contrast lovely. These are upgraded fabrics on the sofas, so you can see the cushion bases here done in a contrast to the leather, as well as acres of scatter cushions galore. So real nice tasteful finish, obviously very social in the back area here of the saloon. This is your TV, 49-inch TV in a high-low box. Boat's got Sky TV, track vision system, decoders here, saloon, master cabin, forward cabin. There's a Sonos system, Sonos Connect. There's a Harman Kardon AV surround sound system in this aft end of the saloon here, and then linked out into the cockpit here you see the upgrade AV pack. We've got Sonance speakers outside, so there's a Sonos Connect zone here, 4 speakers in the cockpit, 4 up on the Flybridge. Really high spec boat. So from a practical point of view, we've got a wood floor here, satin finish in the aft saloon area, nice little freestanding coffee table there. Just imagine yourself with these vast windows, waking up in the morning in a bay, using those stabilizers, I say, if you want to stay out on the hook overnight. And then coming forward, we have a slightly raised dinette area. Again, lovely big panoramic windows behind. You can take in that lovely view all the way around. You imagine driving this boat from inside as well as outside. Great visibility, you see all the way to the aft back there. Galley up on the main deck here, so using the boat as a floating country cottage, if you like. Everything's part of the action. You're not in a galley tucked away downstairs away from all your friends or family. So we've got big refrigerator, nice big catches on these, feel very solid. Freezer underneath, slimline Miele dishwasher in there, lots of storage. These are all the Sunseeker bespoke Royal Dalton crockery set. So storage for provisions. We've got a bin in the corner here, nice big 4-burner electric top, and a microwave oven. Again, all storage, good catches, everything feels very secure. Robert Welsh cutlery set there. And then the lower helm is much a repeat of what we've seen upstairs already. Note the side door I referred to there earlier. Larger screens, so these are 16-inch navigation screens displaying everything that we saw upstairs. Sunseeker's monitoring panel here, so we can see battery and tank systems and what have you. Everything's touchscreen. These are the I-40 displays, which give whatever readouts you wish. So we're currently running rudder, say electronic compass, and then speed and depth on there. Autopilot control, stabilizer system. You can see they're locked off at the moment, so we haven't got them turned on. Again, nice, everything's falling to hand. These are Bezenzoni manually adjusted helm chairs here, nice little drop down foot. And then underneath the dashboard here, you can see all the main breaker panels for the independent 240 volt and the 24 volt domestic circuits. So from a maintenance point of view, everything's nice, easy to get at. You can say, just had the carpets cleaned, nice white carpets here. Literally nothing to spend on this. Serviced in August last year by PME, the MAN dealers. Coming down the stairs here, we've got a large wine fridge with horizontal rack storage. And then down this lovely companionway, you notice underneath the windscreen here how much natural light comes down here. And the accommodation's all split up into private areas. So we'll start forward. This is the VIP guest cabin, and it's its own suite, if you like. Centerline island double bed. You can hear those engines, despite the fact the engines are running. It's say you could very well sleep in here for a long distance passage if you wished. So everywhere's got cupboards, high level storage here that's tucked up under the side decks. Again, those lovely big stainless steel windows hidden behind the blinds there. Wardrobe here to the starboard. Now, these are the reverse cycle air conditioning panels, so they'll give heat and cooling. We're on UK 3-pin sockets, easy to change these to EU 2-pins if you wish, and then we've got mix out with the USB sockets as well, which is a nice touch. Again, everything's absolutely immaculate. Bedding, flooring, woodwork, literally presents like the day it came out of the factory. See underneath here we've got batteries for bow thruster. There's your thruster motor. And then coming aft, so this doubles up, this is the day head and also services the third cabin. So we've got big shower compartment here, great size. See, we've got a freestanding handset there. These are storage cupboards up top here, again big window hidden behind here. Lots of little detailing. Heated towel rails, these are electric towel rails, worth noting, up on the bulkheads. Electric flush toilets, nice stone floors here. And this leads through, so it's Jack and Jill, so this door takes us through also to the third guest cabin. So we're just going to shut that one. Always important to remember to shut our doors when we're at sea. So this is our twin single bed cabin. Good sized wardrobe. Again, TV up on the bulkhead there. That's the door through into the bathroom there, which also services the fourth cabin. You can see the black water tank for the toilet system with the diverters there. And then coming aft down the corridor here, so everything's absolutely beautiful. So this is cabin number 4, which is your bunk bed cabin. It's quite compact in here, but nice to have the extra storage, either somewhere to put your suitcases, or if you've got extra friends and family on board. They've still got a nice view there out of the window. And a wardrobe here behind the door. Aircon system up top there. So home controls, and we've got a TV up on the wall as well. So compact, but it does the job. And then midship, this is your master. So we just open the door here so you can take this in. So we're full beam on the boat itself. We've got these beautiful panoramic glass windows both sides, big opening Bomar hatches in the middle, stainless steel, and we've got a mixture of fabrics and furnishings down here just to give a bit of contrast with that lovely dark luster wood. So starboard side, big sofa stroke chaise there, little detailing patterns in the back of the cupboards there, and we've got to say Sky decoder down here. You'll need to buy your own decoders whilst the system's set up with the main decoder unit. You'll need your own Sky box depending on your system you run at home. Otherwise it can just be used for Freeview. And then this is your master ensuite. So again, big shower stall, handy storage. These are, so again, just making use of all available space. We've got aircon outlets in here, handy for drying out bits and pieces. Electric towel rail again. There's a Miele washer dryer down in the crew space, so we've got full ability to look after laundry on board. Proper size walk-in wardrobe. There's a small safe in the corner there. Little vanity station with a pull-out stool here. So drawers. Boat's been stripped out by the owners, ready for their new boat's arrival. So literally good to go, other than final cleaning and systems check. We're ready to pass her over to the new owners. So we're just going to head back up and we'll take a look on the Flybridge. So we come upstairs here. In front of us we've got ice maker, top loading cool box, sink, and a Kenyan griddle. Works off the 19 kilowatt generator. You can see the domes here painted black. It's a hydraulic Bimini, so that's a push button rather than having to manhandle it. It's a bit like a pram hood, very straightforward to operate. Life raft included there. If it needs a service, we'll get that done. And then here on the bathing platform, currently full of the owner's gear, but this is the crew cabin. And back there, running transverse across the bed, we have 2 single beds, and then in the aft end here you can see cupboards and access below for systems and what have you. And there's a heads compartment here with a shower. It's quite handy if you just come out of the sea, if you're running as an owner operator, somewhere to have a wash down without going inside the boat. Obviously with a top loading door here, doesn't get in the way of the tender if you've got a tender on the back. And then these are handy locker on the back here for storing bits and pieces in. Passerelle, so hydraulic Besons only Italian passerelle. We've got stern docking winches. I say it's a total med spec boat, nothing to add. So we're just going to finish off our photo shoot and then join us back in a bit, and we'll take her back in alongside. So you can see close quarters docking again. So that's a wrap on our photo shoot. We've got all our lovely marketing shots and the drones back safely on board. So we're just coming back into the Hamble River here. Lovely wake shot there. I have to say, an absolutely cracking boat. Replacement on this today, new 68, we're about £2.7 million including tax. So this is a big saving at the asking price that we're putting her on at. And of course, if you'd like any further information, please get in touch directly. I can talk you through the history of the boat, the spec in a bit more detail, of course send you all the lovely marketing shots and what have you. So we're just going to give everything on board a chance to cool down. We've got to run sort of 25 minutes back up to Swanwick, and we'll just check back in so you can see us bringing her back in alongside, and then I'll finish off with a quick look round the engine bay just to surmise the boat. So we just power up our thrusters, check they're working, and then we're just going to bring the boat back in on the engines now. So you're just doing everything nice and slow. Very docile to drive this. Big powerful engines, massive propellers, gives plenty of manoeuvrability when it's needed. This bit between the pontoons here is called the fairway, which hopefully in most marinas you'd have space to come down forwards and turn around at the end. In our situation here, because we have a sails pool at the end, it's all quite tight and we haven't got room to turn boats this size around when we get down there, so we're actually coming down here backwards. Just have to worry about tide and wind for a little bit more of the manoeuvre as we carry it out here. I say no need to touch the thrusters. Boat tracks backwards nice and straight here, you can see just knocking the engines in and out of gear one by one. If I momentarily nudge it ahead there, you see how it squares the boat up. The wind is on my port hand side. Coming in outside the cafe, so hopefully we're going to get this right first time, not embarrass ourselves. So in terms of qualifications, actually here in the UK, don't need any qualifications to drive something this size, and more of an insurance requirement. You need insurance in order to have a berth, and in order to have a berth, you'll have to take out a policy with somebody like Coleman's, who we work with, offer a Sunseeker Shield policy, which is bespoke to our brand and gives some extra features and benefits in the event that you have an unfortunate incident. And that will require you generally to do something like an international certificate of competence or a day skipper course. So between 3 and 5 days generally gets you pretty competent on the boat. And that'll do you some basic safety, basic navigation, some basic boat handling skills. So good to do something like that. Just get yourself competent so you're not a danger to yourself, other people around you and your crew on board and what have you. We can talk you through all of that as part of a handover on the boat. So what we're doing now, so say boat's just drifting back, you can see the flags there, wind on the side, and we're just going to spin the back end in. We're just going to have to watch the front as it comes around. And we're going to use our thrusters in a sec just to help us round. The rotational point on the boat is about actually here in the middle of the floor. It's not quite the midships point of the boat. Do you see how that nose is just drifting around naturally in the wind? So I'm just going to stick this one momentarily into forward. You see how that's spinning the boat round. I'm just going to use the thruster here, take a bit of power off. There we go, we're nearly in. There you have it. I'm just going to put the camera down now so we can finish tying up, and we'll check back in and finish off the tour. So there you have it. We're all tied up safely back here in Swanwick Marina. So just going to put the boat back to bed. So here, literally just quick touch on the stop buttons, turn the ignitions off, and that's it. We're in. So just to finish off, the last bit of the tour that we didn't do earlier was obviously down in the engine bay. It's going to be quite noisy. You're going to hear the fans running down there, which are on an automatic timer. I can't override them unless I kill the batteries and turn the lights off. So if it gets a bit noisy in a sec, I might just cut the sound out afterwards, and I'll just point out a few things to you with a voiceover. But we just pop the hatch up here. You'll notice how good the sound insulation is here. Lift it up. So we've got V-drive configuration, big V8 1000 horsepower MAN diesels here. You see down forward, these are the water strainers. Things like the dipsticks are handed in the middle here, so very easy to get at everything. Fuel filters up on the forward bulkhead, so maintenance wise everything very easy to get at. We've got start and stop panels for the engines down here to save having to go back up to the helm if you're doing maintenance checks and what have you. So it's absolutely immaculate down here, very, very nicely presented. C-fire system up on the wall there. If it needs a service, we'll take care of that before handover to next owner. You can see things like the mains boxes here for a mixture of the 240 and the 24 volt systems, main breakers and what have you. Absolutely lovely. It's finished well underneath the cosmetic finishes that you see up in the main cabins and what have you. All the machinery spaces are equally as nice. Always critical on a big complicated machine like this to make sure everything's A1. I say we just had the boat surveyed to check her out, a few little bits and pieces for us to attend to, and should be good to go, ready for this season. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Say, fairly thorough look round today. Hope you've enjoyed the video actually running the boat as well, so you can see what she's like. Wide open throttle, boat runs about 28.5 knots flat out. So she's a quick boat when she gets up and going. Very nice cruising at that sort of 20 knots as we did today. Just finish off here with a quick look down the side here, proportion to the typical sort of size moorings we find here in the marinas such as Swanwick. So say we can find your mooring here or some of the other South Coast Marina berths if you want to stay local, or if you're looking to ship off overseas. Of course we can help you with the transport arrangements, onward shipping and what have you. So I hope you enjoyed that. Contact details as always, james@sunseekersouthampton.com or mobile +44 7747 686 587. Look forward to hearing from you.